Yo, what's up, guys? It's Scott, aka Baker Turtle here, bringing you another fantasy Pokefighter battle. This is week 4 against Quinton of the Geosenge Garchomps. And at this point, he's 0-3, I'm 3-0. I feel a little confident about this, but he made a few transactions in the previous week. He actually dropped his, I think he had Mega Beedrill for Mega Ampharos, so I had to make a few changes to my strategy, but it didn't really affect it that much. As he decides this week to bring Garchomp, Aggron, Sock, Empoleon, Mega Ampharos, and Espeon. And one thing when I was looking at his team and prepping for his team, I realized was that he doesn't really have an answer to Mamoswine. Mamoswine really just wrecks through his team. Nothing can really outspeed it and KO it, besides maybe the Sock and Espeon, but I have coverage for the Espeon in knockoff, and I've got a counter in Sock with Sublime and Gardevoir, so I'm not too worried about that. And I've played Quinton before, and I know he really likes his Garchomp, and he likes his Espeon and Empoleon, and Sock honestly too. Actually, Aggron, he's drafted this season's team very similar to how he's drafted before. So I know his strategies, and he usually likes to run dual screens Espeon, and try to set up with Garchomp or something. So I knew I wanted to bring Pursuit Scizor for that Espeon, and so I decided to bring, this is the first week Scizor is being brought. It's my franchise pick, and after 3 weeks is my first time using it, so I want to see if this will actually get put in some work. So I've got Assault Vest Scizor this week, in case he wanted to run that HP Fire, with Bullet Punch, U-Turn, Pursuit, Superpower, pretty standard. I've got a pretty interesting Salamence set here with Roost, Defog, Draco Meteor, and Iron Tail. I didn't want to bring Defog on Scizor, obviously. I wanted that Assault Vest, and so I decided to bring Defog on Salamence. And I've got mixed with Draco and Iron Tail. Iron Tail for he has Clefable, which I was really surprised he didn't bring, because I don't really have much answers to that. But he didn't bring it this week, so okay. But I'm mostly defensive. Salamence, Intimidate with leftovers, and I'm bringing fully defensive Sublime, standard, Mega Pinsir with Swords Dance, EQ. Quick Attack Return, Mamoswine, Life Orb, Max Attack with a little bit of speed to outspeed Empoleon and Aggron, if Aggron was given a little bit of speed EVs. But I got Stealth Rocks on Mamoswine and EQ Ice Shard Knockoff. EQ Ice Shard Knockoff was all the coverage I need. EQ hits everything hard, and then Ice Shard, just anything that EQ doesn't hit, Ice Shard hits, and then knockoffs just for that Espeon. And then I got, again this week, Physically Defensive Gardevoir. Each week I've actually had brought Physically Defensive Gardevoir. It's just really good for me with that fighting resist that I'm pretty weak to. But now that I had picked up Sublime this week, it really helps with my fighting weakness, same with Salamence, so I can give a little break on Gardevoir being defensive. So yeah, so let's get started. Knowing Quinton, I know that he likes to lead off with his Espeon in case I want to set up rocks, so he has Magic Bounce, so I actually decided to go with Scizor. And I know he's really in a big predicament here. If he stays in, I get a huge U-turn off. If he switches out, I got the Pursuit. And here, I predicted him to switch out, and Pursuit, KO, turn 1. And at this point, I'm so happy, I'm so glad, because now this just opens up Mamoswine to just demolish his team. He doesn't really have anything faster except for that sock, and I have many answers to that sock. So he just he goes out into Ampharos. I don't know what he can do to me. Maybe he has HP Fire, but I know I outspeed this, and I just go for the U-turn. And that's a crit, so that's why I did that much damage. I guess I go out into my Gardevoir here. I didn't predict the Dragon Balls actually, but I knew that I could kill it back with a Moonblast. But as he switches out, I knew that he might want to switch out into Empoleon, and I didn't want to go for a Moonblast. I do have Thunderbolt on this, but I didn't want to predict that so early, so I just decided to go for the safe Will-O-Wisp. As I switch out into Scizor here. I'm Assault Vest, so I know I can take this on. I specifically have Superpower on this, and for this Empoleon. And I was calcing this, and with that much damage, I figured, hey, this could probably KO this thing. But no, this barely lives, and I get that attack drop, defense drop, as he goes for the Scald. And unfortunately, he gets the burn. So at this point, Scizor is pretty crippled. I don't have Heal Bell, and don't really need this thing anymore. So he dies to burn. So he's down 2, and I've got this guy. And at this point, I was like, you know, maybe I can save this thing for something. Maybe I can save it for differential. So I just decided to straight up switch out into Supply. I'm fully defensive. I know I can take pretty much anything except for like an Outrage maybe. But he's not going to lock himself in Outrage when I got a Fairy. As he just goes for the Rock Slide. Again, I don't know what he's predicting. Maybe he's predicting Salamence. But I'm just going to straight up again go for the Will-O-Wisp on this thing, because he's got a bunch of physical attackers. As he switches out into like his only special attacker in Mega Ampharos. And here I know I can take any one hit with Mamoswine, and I can outspeed and hit it and kill it, or hit something hard on the switch. So I just decided to straight up switch out into my Mamoswine here. I take the rocks damage. As he goes for the Heal Bell. So this gives me a free switch into Mamoswine, and now either something's gonna die. Honestly, just something's gonna die. I'm gonna nuke something. So I just straight up go for the EQ. As he switches out into Sock, I guess he decided this was the most expendable mon to him, but honestly I feel like this is something he really needed. Maybe to get a free switch onto this Mamoswine, because he's got Sturdy, so he would live any one hit and then KO me back. But this was probably his biggest mistake, as he's got that speed Salic Berry, but I got the Ice Shard, so I know Sock doesn't learn any priority. I love using Sock, and I know it doesn't learn priority. That's why it's NU. But I'm just gonna straight up go for the Ice Shard. So he switches out, sacks his Mega Ampharos, and at this point I see he has an Aggron, which is 4 times weak to EQ. He's got Garchomp, 4 times weak to Ice Shard, and he's got Sock, which is gonna die to Ice Shard. So at this point, the only thing that can stop Mamoswine's sweep is if he would have lived that, but he doesn't. Ice Shard, max attack, Life Orb, Mamoswine's just too hard. And at this point, it's just GG. Unless his Aggron has Sturdy and can KO me back, but at this point, I'm just going all in. And he doesn't have Sturdy. He had Rockhead. So this is GG. 6-0 sweep. Mamoswine gets a 4-0 sweep at the end. This actually earned Mamoswine week MVP. And as you can see, he really put in the work. And KOing 4 of his mons in 1 hit, basically. And he really had nothing for Mamoswine. I guess he just underprepared, didn't expect Mamoswine to put in that much work, but yeah, so I'm 4-0 and Quinton's 0-4, and at this point My next week's battle is against my good friend Steven. He's a really good battler. He and I converse constantly about sets and stuff, so I know he's on par with my level. But unfortunately, he hasn't really been doing too well this season. He's gotten unlucky with a few crits, a few misplays here and there, and he's 1-3. I believe he did defeat the number 2 battler in Dylan of the Ludicolos, who won season 1 championship. So I knew he was getting back on his game. But I knew Steven's gonna be a tough challenge for me next week, and I gotta prepare really tough. So let me know what you guys think about this battle and Mamoswine's pretty devastating sweep at the end there. Leave a like, comment below, let me know what you think, and I'll see you guys next week.